Customer lifetime value is very important.
I think also customer lifetime value is important because it kind of closely relates to other metrics, right?
Yeah, no, I love this metric, the net promoter score. I think it's very important to periodically measure.
Essentially, net promoter score measures customer loyalty. Normally, what you do is you have this part of surveys. You ask customers how willing are you to recommend this product to your friends on a scale of 0 to 10.
My next favorite would be the go-to-market strategy. So the go-to-market strategy is essentially like when you are launching a brand new product which is not there in the market, then how do you make it visible and communicate to the customer?
So let's also talk about some product growth metrics now, right?
I feel as a product manager, he should not only be good at solving problems, but also be good at analytical, right, skills.
If you say that customer lifetime value is $100 and you're investing $200 in acquiring that customer, your business is going nowhere.
Yeah, that's very important because if you have for example,
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our podcast, Everything Product. So we talk about latest technology and product management concepts. Today, we have a very interesting topic. So we're going to talk about 15 essential product management terms that every product manager needs to know. So if you're a aspiring product manager or somebody who is a product manager and want to level up their game, this is a really good video to understand all the buzzwords and tech in product management. So today, me and Srinath are going to alternate amongst ourselves, and we'll basically pick one term, talk about them, and also react to each other's terms which we pick. So we'll start with the top pick from Srinath. So Srinath, let's get started.
awesome, very excited. So my favorite and topic is customer lifetime value. That's basically understanding the long-term value that you are creating for the customer. Because any product, if a customer wants you to use, then it's basically you need to create some value, right? So measuring that value that you are creating to the customer is very important, whether it may be in terms of cost savings to the customer because they're using your product. Maybe it's because they're able to get a better feedback to improve their product. So whatever it may be, creating that value from your product to every customer is very important. So as you create that, you will also try to understand, okay, am I making the right decisions? Am I in the right path in that product strategy? That will also really help you. If you're not able to create that value, then you also be able to understand the opportunities that you want to address and define your product strategy to meet that. So customer lifetime value is very important.
Yeah, and I think also customer lifetime value is important because it kind of closely relates to other metrics, right? Because so let's say that the customer lifetime value for your product is $100, right? And you're spending maybe $200 acquiring a customer. So that's not good, right? So you're spending more than the customer lifetime value, right? So I think this is something which will help you understand how much can you spend acquiring new customers, how much can you spend giving discounts to existing customers for more engagement, right, or more retention and so on and so forth. Okay. So the next one is net promoter score. Though a lot of people hate net promoter score, that's still a measure. So essentially, net promoter score measures customer loyalty. Normally, what you do is you have this part of surveys. You ask customers how willing are you to recommend this product to your friends on a scale of 0 to 10. And the scale basically gives you promoters and detractors. If you are in the promoter zone, a lot of people are liking your product and wanting to promote your product. If you are in the detractors zone, there's something with the product, people are not getting as much value as necessary, so you need to improve whatever value you are giving to the customers essentially.
Nice. Yeah, no, I love this metric, the net promoter score. I think it's very important to periodically measure. And I feel this is one of the most important metric for any product which is already matured or probably been in the market for a while, right? So that's when you try to test, okay, is this, my product has been there for a while. Is this helping customers? Are other people liking it? Are they basically sharing with it others and all, right? I think this is where working closely with some of the customer facing teams, some of the research teams is very important because try to work with them and understand this net promoter score for your product, for features, is very important.
Awesome.
All right. The My next favorite would be the go-to-market strategy. So the go-to-market strategy is essentially like when you are launching a brand new product which is not there in the market, then how do you make it visible and communicate to the customer? So that's where the go-to-market launch strategy is. Like this will involve any customer communications via emails or some kind of an alerts with an existing product. If you're launching some feature, it can include some webinars and all that stuff. So this is where you, as a PM, work closely with some of the product marketing manager teams, where you take work with them on the content, some of the press releases and all that stuff. You work with them and communicate to the customer in the right forum. This is very important. This is going to be one of the key factors in your product to be successful, because if you're not able to communicate clearly the value that you're trying to create, a you're trying to solve, then whatever you build doesn't matter. So having a right go to market strategy is very important.
Yeah, and also we do that for our podcast, right, Srinath? So we work so hard editing the video, recording, finding guests, doing discussion guides, and all of that. And even though you put so much work and provide so much value, if you don't promote it at the right time, it's not reaching the right audience. So a go to market strategy is very important for a product, and it could be a make or break for a product.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, Srinath. So let's also talk about some product growth metrics now, right? So I think the two most important ones, which a lot of product people focus on for engagement, is monthly active users and daily active users, right? For your product, you need to understand how users are engaging, right? So you could say, I've built a product and a person logged in maybe every 1 month. Is it actually adding value to your product? Maybe, probably no, right? But
Yeah.
if the person is coming to your product on a daily basis, maybe it's adding value. And it also depends on what kind of a product it is, right? So if you're building a social product and if you're saying that a person is coming every month, it might not be the right way of measuring stuff. And on the flip side, you're building a B2B product, and maybe it's a sales product and you use it just once or twice every month. That could be a good measure. So daily active users and monthly active users help you understand the engagement of the users, and based on how the engagement is, you could tweak on what value can you provide to the users.
For any products which are matured, right? So it's very important to track, because over a period of time, you may see that the ups and downs. So it's very important to understand that if something happens like good, if you see a peak, then it's also important to understand why it went up.
Yes.
And if you see any downs, it's also very important to understand. Having that full traction is going to give you a sustainable, I mean, not only from monetary standpoint, you're able to create a sustainable value for users. So that's a good one too.
And you can actually have a lot of inputs from that, right? So there could be a huge spike in your monthly active users or daily active user count, and you can basically, it's an indication that something really went good, or something seasonal that happened that brought in so many people. And there also could be a drastic drop in monthly active users and daily active users. That is an indication for you to say, why did people go away? What went wrong in our product? Did I introduce a new feature which pissed off people, or did I introduce, or maybe the app is down, people are not able to access it, right? So that's why it's very, very crucial to keep track of monthly active users and daily active users.
Yeah, I think in general, I feel as a product manager, should not be not only be good at solving problems, but also be good at analytical, right, skills. Because whatever you implement, once you implement, you need to understand how the product is performing. So being analytical, that's where I think the next set of our favorites probably that we would cover is pretty important for any PM manager to measure the success of the product.
Yes.
Okay. My next favorite would be the customer acquisition cost. So, customer acquisition cost is very important for PMs, yes, but for the people who are investing in your product too, whether it's a leadership or whether it's another investor from an external company is investing in your product, because this is the cost that you are investing to get a customer to use your product. So every investor obviously wants to, or your leadership wants to put less money and get the customer. So it's important to track the amount of money that you are putting in. Primarily this may come from some of the resources headcount that you are putting in to get that customer, and also the marketing costs. These two will influence this cost heavily. So it's very important, as a PM, to make sure the customer acquisition cost is not too high, and it's in line with expectations, and periodically monitor. If you are basically investing too much, may have to revisit on some of that strategies.
Yeah, and as we talked before, right, it is closely related to customer lifetime value. And if you say that customer lifetime value is $100 and you're investing $200 in acquiring that customer, your business is going nowhere. So you want to keep that customer acquisition cost significantly low so that you can maintain and get profits out of business and reinvest back in your business. Okay. The next one is the churn rate, right? What is the churn rate? So the churn rate is the silent killer of product growth. So I know you assume that you are a founder for a new app on an app store, and you maybe got 100,000 users in the first 6 months. You might be jumping and celebrating, but you have to also know what the churn rate is, right? You could end up seeing that people sign up and then they don't find any value, then they don't return back, and your churn rate is like 80%. So you're actually essentially losing 80% of the users who have signed up. So I think that's why churn rate will help you understand how people are coming back to your product again and again, and also understand how they are engaging with the product.
Yeah, that's very important, because if you have for example, if you have a product, right, which has like 5 different pages of forms that a user needs to fill, and you will often see that as you ask more information to the customer, when it's a lengthy form, then the drop off rates are high, the churn rate is high, then they don't tend to use the product. So it's very important to keep it as small as possible, so the churn rate is also as low as possible. If churn rate is high, then probably customers are not liking your product, right? So you may have to revisit that.
And especially this is very important for subscription businesses.
Yeah, definitely. Because once you lose that subscription, it's very hard to again get back that subscriber to use your product. My one of the other favorites is, I mean, I think little close, but slightly you measure differently, which is the user engagement for your product. How often are the users visiting your product and using your product, which also tells you that if there's a value for users to come and use your product. If user engagement is very low for your product, then that means you're probably not creating any value to your customer, or your product is probably not solving any problem that customer has. So having that high user engagement is very important too.
Yes. Yeah, and again, like when we look at growth, funnel is also very important, right? So that's where you talk about a funnel and different stages of funnel. So essentially, you could have metrics to measure the top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and also bottom of the funnel. Essentially, think of funnel as all the audience who could be exposed to your product. Top of the funnel is more awareness of the product, right? So these people know that your product exists. And then you could also have activation in top of the funnel, which is people actually do their first sign up for a product. The middle of the funnel is more engagement, right? People come on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis to your product, get value out of your product and start using the product. Then bottom of the funnel could be more, people are the retention, right? People are coming back on multiple months for using this product, and people are also maybe spending money and giving you subscription money in the product. So that is bottom of the funnel. So when you are looking at applications and software products, the funnel is very important, where you optimize for different stages inside the funnel. So if it's an early product, right, you try to get more acquisition and activation. If it's a a mid product, you want to get more and more engagement for the product, and more people start coming and using the product. If it's an a mature product, you want to get more monetization and generate revenue from the product.
Yeah. My no, that's a good one too. My next favorite is conversion rate. So conversion rate is something where you basically got that customer probably happy. In maybe you are providing a free package or a free subscription about something, but they actually renewed or got the subscription after the free trial. That's when you got a real customer, right? So conversion rates are very important in converting that free customers into the paid customers. If your product only has free customers, then you're not generating monetary, which is pretty important for sustainability, right? So you need to have that conversion rate pretty as high as possible, so you can generate value as well as money to the company too, and the product that you're building.
Awesome. So yeah, I think it was a long list of product terms and terminology, Srinath. So yeah, thanks everybody for watching our video. And for anybody who wants to dig deep into some of this terminology which we talked about, right? We'll post a link of all the videos which we have talked about. We have talked about OKRs, we have talked about roadmaps, we have talked about product market fit and all of those things. So please check out the description below for all of these links. Thanks for your time, and please subscribe to our channel, Everything Product.
And also don't forget to basically comment what your most favorites are too.